Yesterday, when I was at work, I was tagged in a very disturbing video on Facebook, and I did not know all of the details that went along with it at the time because I didn't have all of the information. At that time, it was just a raw video, it didn't have any names attached to it. I didn't know what was going on. So that's why I didn't jump to make a commentary about this until I got more information, because I could have given out some information that was completely wrong and I didn't want to do that. But now I've gotten some more information about it, and now I'm inclined to speak on it. This demon, because I can't even call him a man, name is Austin Shuffield. And this event that I'm about to talk about happened in a place called Deep Ellum, Texas. I've never heard of it. I don't even know what it's near, but based on what I've read, it said it's like a party area where a lot of people just go to unwind and have a good time. Well, in the video, what I'm gonna describe to you what I saw, and some of you probably have already seen it. You had this guy get into an altercation with this black woman over a goddamn parking spot. Now, I have said many times that when it comes to white people, especially white men in road rage, they have a tendency to, I don't know, go off about that all the time. Remember what happened to Bianca Roberson, a couple years ago, where she, they said it was playing dog tag or whatever like that, and the guy pulled out his gun and shot through her window, and the bullet hit her in the head, and her car went into an embankment, and then she died months before she was getting ready to go to college. As a matter of fact, she was shopping to go to college. I've done stories where you've had white men follow people off of exits into other parking lots to antagonize the people that they think wronged them. You've had white men. I did a story about a white man following behind a black man who had some white kids in his car. Maybe that was a white woman, I'm not entirely sure, because she was worried about the safety of the kids because they were with a black man. And I think it was another story where a black man did follow this black guy all the way into a residential neighborhood until the black guy got to his house. I wouldn't have led that guy to my area where I lived at, but he followed him there because of some bullshit. I'm telling you, when it comes to road rage, I don't know what something triggers them in their head, because they think they're the king of the road. They feel like they own every lane that is on that road. And don't forget about what happened in the Walmart parking lot last year when that white guy got into it with that pregnant lady who was with her niece, and that black guy had to come in who was a complete stranger and had to defend her. And I think that woman may have been pregnant too, and he put him in his place. So you have this guy right here, and they're arguing over a parking spot, and he gets into it with her. She gets out of her car, and that was one of the main mistakes she made. Ladies, black women in particular, if you are by yourself and you're in a situation like this, please do not engage someone like this, because you do not know what they have. And that's what I'm going to talk about also in this video, especially if you do not have a weapon or some mace on you. Now, this woman was completely unarmed. All she had on her hand was a cell phone, which later was not out of her, which later out of her hand, because what happened is after she got into the altercation with the guy on a verbal level, it ended up becoming physical. So what ended up happening, and as a matter of fact, let me pull up the image right here. This is what the person who was recording caught. So after that, she gets ready to get on her phone to call the police, and say what's going on with this guy. He's probably saying a lot of obscenities to her. He could have been threatening her life. Who knows? So what he does is he smacks her cell phone out of her hand. You can see it in the video. He smacks it out of her hand. Then she gets upset, like it's a natural reaction, and then she gets into his face, and like she kind of does one of those mush movements that you see some people do. And then after that, he really went off and he slapped her. Or maybe he punched her, because he knocked her down pretty hard. And she fell back. And then all of a sudden, he pulls out a gun. He pulls out his gun and holds it up to her as if he's prepared to blow her brains out. Like he's prepared to risk it all that day, because he got that triggered, that the nerve of this woman to put her hands on him and think that that was going to be that. That's why I say to the ladies, if you are not armed, I can't stress this enough. If you are not armed, please do not engage a grown man thinking that you can just do to him whatever he wants. Whatever you want. And see, that was a situation right there where she probably saw her life flash before her eyes. She probably thought she was going to end up dead. But luckily, this raw video has come out, it's gone viral, and they were able to catch the guy. So they caught him, and he was put under arrest. Now here's the fucked up part about the whole thing. They severely undercharged this man. Okay, he should have gotten assault for one, for knocking the phone out of her hand, two, another assault for actually hitting her, and three, assault with a deadly weapon, because he had a gun out as if he was going to shoot her. That's three charges right there. He didn't get hit with not one of those charges. They gave him misdemeanors. And not only that, he only had a bond of $2,000. At 10%, that's only $200. That's two Benjamin Franklins that he would have to pay to get out of jail. And the fact that it's misdemeanors means that there's not going to be a lot of consequence behind it. Meaning he's most likely not going to get any jail time. All he'll probably have to do is pay a fine. He might have to do some community service, and that's about it. That is about it. I would like to know, where are those blonde-haired, blue-eyed feminists? Where is Terry Crews on his toxic masculinity tip? Where is Tarana Burke? Oh, that's right. You're not going to find them, because them white feminists, they don't really find themselves to want to be buddy-buddy with black women. Me Too, they only focus on white women. Terry Crews, when he talks about toxic masculinity, he's only focusing on black men. He has since a couple weeks ago, has come out and admitted that fact. And Tarana Burke, Miss Why It's Not My Job to Go After White Men Burke, we know she's not going to say anything either. So that, in essence, that black woman, who I don't know what her name is, that they probably keeping her identity a secret or anonymous, which I'm okay with, is pretty much out there on her own, her and her family. And then I saw some people who were saying that the person who was recording, why didn't they run in and do anything? Well, I'm going to say it like this. If you are not armed and you run up on somebody with a gun, y'all do the math. Which one is going to hurt more? A fist or a bullet? And I'm looking at it right here. This person looks like they were pretty far. I don't know how far away they were, but the image is very blurry, which means this person who recorded this was not as close as people think. They had to zoom in. That's why it's blurry like that. So they were probably standing at a distance, but enough to the point where they could hear and see what was going on. Now, if this person was armed and they decided not to do anything, then yeah, that was messed up, because they could have done something, because they did have a slight upper hand to catch this person off guard. I'm not saying they had to go over there and kill the person, but if they just injured them or did enough to make them disarm themselves, then yeah. Now, see what the difference is between the other incidents and this one is, like I said, this guy had a gun. Those other incidents, those individuals were unarmed, so it was free range. It was open territory, and they were in close proximity of the person that they were attacking. So this person was like, okay, I could do something, but they might shoot me. But if you look in this other image right here, and I think, I don't know if this is the same, if there's more people here, I can't really tell because of how the image looks. But you can tell right here, this is the part where right here when he gets ready to hit her. You can tell by his stance. And I don't know if this looks like after he hit her, because you can tell she looks like she's hunched over. But like I said, everything about this whole situation is fucked up. Hopefully the people in her family are acting pretty fast and accordingly, because the fact that he's only charged with misdemeanors and he got a $2,000 bond is fucking ridiculous. But it doesn't surprise me at the same time. Now, if the roles were reversed and say that this was a black man who hit a white woman, and she did what this was in the situation that this black woman was in, it would have been a whole nother ball game, and we all know that. He would have gotten hit with every assault charge possible. They would have hit him with all kinds of felonies. They would have made sure he had to pay all kinds of fines. And then you would have had them goddamn feminist groups up in arms. Clear double standards. I'm also, and before I end this video, I got one last thing to say. I'm just waiting to see what them goddamn black feminazi blog sites such as the Griot, the Root, or as Professor Black Truth calls it, the Weed, Madame Noir, and other black man hating agenda sites are going to have to say about this, as far as black men not protecting black women or black men hating black women. I'm just waiting to see what it's going to say. They probably going to harper more so on that, or they're going to mention it somewhere in their hit piece while discussing this. After all, according to that idiot Damon Young, who wrote that hit piece on black men a couple years ago on The Root, he said black men are the white men of the black community. I will never forget that. No black man should ever forget that. Yet you have this white man right here who hit the shit out of this black woman over a goddamn parking spot. Y'all let me know what you think about this down in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. I'll talk to you in the next one.